Hi, greetings. This is Mary,
And this is Kathy.
and we're with Pearls of the Soul. As you know, we're here today to talk about our cards that we drew the other day. I've had some feedback that I think that some of you are making it way too hard. You're thinking just because you didn't get the animal that you might have failed. And so the last card we did was the horse. And I want you just to look at this a minute. If you got anything even with color, the blue or the green, or even the spots. You might have thought about hay or a whinny, or you might have even had a horse in the past that all of a sudden that horse popped into your head. You might have even got some of this down here, beads or feathers or something. I never can figure out where that camera is. And if you did get any of that, you're not going to get it all at once. Even Kathy and I can't do that. Um, well, maybe sometimes.
Well, sometimes, but if you even got the number three or the number five, or I don't know. And sometimes down the road, like maybe you saw the spots on the horse and then you got the rest of it tomorrow. That you're learning to pay attention to your intuition. It's not gonna just be like we're Long Island medium the first day, okay?
Yeah, you've got to be patient with yourself and as you're developing this. And that's the whole point of developing your own intuition is figure out what your own triggers are saying to you. What Kathy mentioned this last time, what it might say to me and mean to me is something totally different to you or Kathy. And so find that pattern because we all have that intuition going for us. And Kathy, I know you have a story about intuition today that I'd really like for you to tell. I haven't even heard the whole story. She started telling me, and I said, no, 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 let's record this. So,
Well, first of all, how do I want to say this? Okay, so we all have it, and we all have a different language for it. And this is based on how we grew up, what our frame of reference is, and our intuition will be in that language. So I am raised in a very religious LDS family, so mine comes from the frame of reference of God or Jesus, and I will feel things, and then it will present itself as Jesus for me, or like the Holy Ghost told me. And that's your intuition. And you have a more um, Chinese kind of reference. So that's where she does the, like to me, I'd be like, that won't help me. But laying on my bed face down into my pillow and talking to God opens up my chakra and I can start doing this. All right. So you have to figure out what your frame of reference is. So I was talking to a friend of mine because the minute we closed down this recording, I knew all the things that I should have said. Okay. And she commented and we talked about frames of reference. And she says, my dad sings, plays the piano, and his revelation, because she comes from a very religious background, or Holy Ghost, or intuition, comes from music. And she says, normally when he's playing a song on the radio, and it doesn't have to be like a religious song, just music, and he'll get his inspiration or intuition or that kind of stuff during that time. And he may hear things, he may see things, he may feel things, all the things we talked about, he has. Tell me what they're called, like the clairaudience, the
oh,
clairsentience, she says he has all of that, but it presents itself through music. So if I was him, and I'm sure he does this, if I wanted an answer to something intuitively, I would probably put on some music, lay on my bed, and close my eyes, and then that would open everything up, and then I would be getting my intuition.
yeah.
So, what is it for you?
Yesterday I had something happen. Kathy gave me a purse with a bee pin on it. And in that movie Australia, there is the little boy always hummed, Sing It To Me was kind of a theme there, that if you hum and you can find it. So I lost this pen and I was really stressing about it. And I called Kathy and I said, I've lost the pen. Is it at your house in the on the floor or something? Because I went from Kathy's house to my car, from my car to my house, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I started humming and I started saying, closed my eyes and said, sing it to me. And I started humming, just hmm. And then my intuition took me to my bedroom closet. And so I'm looking on the floor and I kept humming, where are you? I know you're in here. And so I decided to move this little stool that's sitting in my closet, and right there, clear underneath the stool was the bee. And I knew when I hummed and went in there that it was there. I just didn't know where it was. And so there's different little methods that we use, and I always use the mantra like this to get myself in that alignment, so to speak. I'm in line with my head and my heart, and I feel like the energy then comes through my head, down my shoulders, and back into my hands. And my hands become that place of power for me. And so also then with that mudra, I do also see Jesus. Jesus has been with me since I've been 9 years old. It's in my books. I talk about it. But I always ask for that higher wisdom to come out and let me know. And sometimes I might hear it, see it. Yesterday I had a really weird taste in my mouth. I don't know what it was. I still haven't figured out what it was. I'm still working on it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the taste was because it was concerning to me for a minute. And I'll know in a few days what it means, but I'm going to wait and I'll share it later. Anyway, so the intuition is going to come in little bursts and spurts. And it might come in, like Kathy said, driving down a road, you might all of a sudden get this hit on something. And why am I thinking of a raccoon? And that might be what was on that card last week. So,
Ask specific questions. I get intuition like, okay, so I had this dog that I had forever and ever, and I like my dogs more than people. And and I always keep them alive well past the point they should be alive. So I end up having to put them to sleep. And I was taking her into putting her to sleep. And as I put her on the table and the doctor came in with the medication to give her to put her to sleep, I whispered in her ear and I said, you need to tell me when you've crossed over. And I hugged her and she passed on. When I went to my car, the song Holes in the Floor of Heaven was on my radio. Okay. Now, I know my dog said, I can see you when I'm here because we discussed it before I put her to sleep. If you are specific, then you'll see the answer earlier. Like, is there blue on that card? And then maybe you'll feel like, no, I don't think there is. Is there green on that card? Yeah, there might be. I mean, because I think where we miss is that we leave it so open that when you get a little trickle of something and then you see this whole card that's got lots of things on it, you leave it up to luck. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not luck. And exactly what Mary said, you could think about it today and Thursday get your answer. And what we have to do is practice that getting better. So I read a book by a famous medium, and I can't think of his name right now. But he said, play games with yourself. So when you stand in front of an elevator, guess which elevator is going to come first. If you have, I don't know, you think there's a birthday party in the month of April, look at your calendar and guess or concentrate and look at your calendar and go, I think it's on the 5th. And see how close it gets to the 5th. Practice, play a game.
The other thing that I do in a restaurant just for fun is I will sit and pick somebody out and I'll stare at them. And I'll just stare at them and I'll talk to them in my head. If you can hear me, look at me. If you can hear me, turn around and look at me. And I might have to do it 5 minutes and pretty soon somebody will go.
And they look at you.
And then they'll look at me and I'll smile. And so I like to play games with people like that. see if they can hear me. But I picked somebody who I feel like is intuitive that would play the game back. The other thing, stoplights. Try to control the stoplights. Um, as you get up to a stoplight, just stay green, stay green, stay green, or turn red, turn red, turn red, whatever you need to go. If you need to take a break, sometimes I live for a red light so that I can answer a text or something real fast at a red light. And I think that's legal if you're stopped. But, and then other times, if I need to get somewhere, I read a green, 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 keep it green, keep it green. And you can play with those. And there's just a lot of games that you can play with your own head. But again, you find your own pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play another game right now with a card. Okay? Are you up for it?
Yep, we're ready.
Did you have anything else to say?
No. Mm-mm.
Let's just do one more game. And this time I'm going to have Kathy pick, but I'm going to have Kathy walk you through this card.
Okay, so walk through. What do you mean by that?
That card.
I would just not tell him.
Yeah, no, this card's the one we pulled the other day.
Well, it is. Look at it.
Out of this whole deck, this one came up again.
I'm sorry. This one's totally my card anyway. I would rather have a dog in my presence than any human. So why? Of course, I would pull this.
Yeah,
but I love Mary.
It was in the middle. It was in the middle of the deck, and I have to reinforce again. The coyote is about play.
Yeah,
that's why I just went, oh my gosh, the coyote is speaking to us again through the cards, through the intuition. But that's why I wanted to not play with this card again, because it means play. So, okay, when I said walk you through it, just like what you were saying about, like color,
okay,
animal.
So,
here, I'll hold it, and you talk.
Okay, so I'm going to look at this card and give you some specific questions.
And stare at this and just really focus.
And try
to
decide what it is. But ask specific questions. So what animal is on this card? You could get lots of things. You may not get what the animal is, but this animal is prevalent in certain areas. You might get that area. You might get a time of year when that animal might be more prevalent. And all of those answers are intuitive, okay? And the goal is that we're going to play this game for a long, long time, and someday, over bit by bit, we're going to get quicker to zero in on exactly what's on this card. But this card has several colors, so you could ask yourself, what color is on this card? What are those colors? There's a number on this card. Specifically, what number is on this card? And then it's got, this is obviously a spirit deck, so it's got the Indian or Native American kind of, I don't know what you call that. Like
totems?
Yeah, totems. And it's got those on them. So you could ask yourself, what totems are present on this card? And then you're going to lay in bed. Now, this is how I do it. I lay in bed and go, what's on that card? And I think about it. And I may even fall asleep, and I may dream about it.
I got to ask you a question. Do you really lay face down on your pillow?
If I really want to focus, okay, so I have mediumistic abilities. And people will say to me, I need you to answer such and such a question or something, okay? And I literally will lay face down in my pillow and visualize. And for some reason, when I do that, it takes everything away from, I can't pay any attention to anything else.
That is just bizarre.
Yeah, okay. So when Mary's over here, I align myself. I'm like, hey, that would not work for me. Not on any planet. I have to, in fact, I'll tell people, I will do this, okay? So I've had people, my grandpa died, blah, 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 answer these questions. And I'll say, okay, I'll do this, but I have to do it later this evening. And I literally go home, lay on my bed, face in my pillow, visualize. I will feel this presence of the spirits that she's asking about. I get her answers. I get real specific things. It kind of blows my own mind. But I'm not secure enough to say I could sit here and do it. I have to go lay on my
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's just it. This work isn't done on a dime. You
Mm-mm.
can't just, like close your eyes and it's there. Sometimes it will pop in, but you never know what's going to pop in. You
And
know,
and you
you
know what
can't
it
control
does.
that. You know.
We've both had that happen where you're like, well, I was at her house sleeping and I wasn't with my face in my pillow, but her cat had died and that cat slept with me all night. Okay, so that came to me. I knew that I was sleeping with her buddy, but I didn't have to concentrate to do it. And you'll have that. Okay? But if somebody comes to you and they say, um, I need to know about this, we all probably have a different way of getting that. Now, maybe someday, and I hope this is true, that I can just go, oh, well, that's what this is, just answer the question. Mm-hmm. But I can't. I have to, at this point in time, I have to really, or get myself in some kind of trance, lack of oxygen.
Oh,
No.
oh, I know that lack of oxygen thing is exactly what I was thinking about. I thought, oh my gosh, don't suffocate. Okay, so let's get back to the card then. I want you specifically to say, is this the color, like Kathy said before, is this a color green? Is it a color red? Is it a color whatever? And then you could also ask something, is it an animal? Is it a bird? Is it an insect? And see what feels right, in your alignment. And then also ask, what else could you ask about that?
Well, I would ask what holiday it represents.
Well, that one probably gave it away. Or there is a part of the country that this animal could represent.
Yeah.
And does it walk? Does it crawl? Does it fly? What is it that you're picking up from that? And so I want you all just to close your eyes for a minute if they aren't already closed. And upon first thought, what color comes to mind? Is it an animal, insect, bird, reptile? And just give it a minute to see what might be coming to mind, because that's the trail that we want to follow. If it is, if you're on something that we can track. So, is everybody got it? Okay, I'm going to turn this card around, and it's a bat.
Okay, so if you thought, oh, it's a bird, I'm not willing to say you're not intuitively picking up on this because that's not a bird, but it flies. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
You could have picked
wings.
You could have picked a deer, a dog, a cow, and you've zoned in on the fact that it can fly. So that's intuitive.
Alphabetically, too, you might have picked up a bee. Even the colors, the blue, a yellow, a green, or even some of the totems at the bottom. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, but this is what in our classes we want to go through exercises to get you this progression. We can't do it on here because we need to see where you're at in your progression. But this is some of the ways that you just start working with your intuition. Another thing you can do is take a candle and light the candle and stare at it. You can stare at it in the dark or the light, and then pretty soon the aura will start coming around the candle. You can see the aura, and then as you start seeing auras around the candle, you will start seeing it around other things, people, animals, or if you don't see the aura, you might feel a color that somebody is. A lot of times people's aura will actually reflect the color that they're wearing. And like today, because Kathy is wearing a magenta, she just feels so pink to me today, just so loving, but she's come out of church. So, that might be something to do with it. But what's pink today might be blue tomorrow. And so just because you're seeing, I might see pink, somebody else might see a blue, it doesn't mean that it's wrong, because everybody from their own perception will see that.
Right.
So,
and one thing that I do that helps me is I'll just start writing. And then you'll think of a word. Oh, bat, blue, and write those down and don't just think, that was an accident. It isn't. Why are you writing about a bat like right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
But it's like Kathy said, you have to bring your focus in narrowly so that you're only thinking about that card for that moment. Everything else, the kids, dinner, job, everything else has to go from your mind. And if you're in the state where your mind is scattered, you're not going to pick it up. You're going to pick up whatever it is that you need to pick up, if it's your child somewhere or your husband, whatever. So we're going to pull
one.
another card for tomorrow. So I want you to just
Okay.
oh,
Oh,
that one's, it's the one where you pick your own. We're not going to
well,
pick
hey,
your
we
own
can
today.
be right on that. Oh, I'm excited about this
This
one.
one's a good one. Okay, this one, screenshot it if you need to. Focus again on the lightning bolt. I love that because it gives us a focus. And then what can you see through the card? It's almost like you're looking through the card. What color do I see? What color do I feel? Is this an animal, insect, reptile, bird? What else might be in the picture? What am I picking up? Just write down every clue that you're getting. It doesn't matter if it even makes sense. Again, it might be lyrics to a song. I've got a friend who husband did pass away, and she was feeling super bad because she never could feel him. But she kept hearing songs on the radio that he liked. And I said, there's your message right there. He's talking to you through his favorite artist, who was the Moody Blues. He's talking to you through that artist. And so listen to things, pick up these things that you're being given, that you're just missing. And there's another book I have out there called Realm of Spirit that talks about this in more detail as well, developing that psychic development, and then in Engaging My Magic, we kind of go a little further with that. So,
Well, and I have a friend that her mom always believed that pennies, if you found pennies on the ground, that was from her like the mother's parents, so my friend's great grandparents. So her mom walks around my friend's whole life. Oh, grandma's talking to us. We're picking up pennies, right? So her mom dies, and suddenly she's finding pennies everywhere. So this is a realm of reference she can understand, and I believe mom is guiding her to those pennies.
yeah.
So that's the thing. Go home. Like if you can't do the card thing right now, you're cooking dinner, whatever you're doing. Tonight, you don't have to lay your face in the pillow. I do. You don't have to.
Put a disclaimer on that, please.
But do something that comforts you and calms the room.
Yeah.
That's why I do that.
Yeah.
And when you calm the room, then you do what Mary says. You think of everything about this card, and then write down what you find. And when we flip it over tomorrow, you'll see how much of it you got right.
See if you're getting closer to the goal than you were the other day. And I want to add something. I had a cousin pass away, and we were close right at the end of her life. We had bonded over some family stuff that happened to both of us. And she passed away, and I was really upset because we were just starting to get into some of the trauma and drama of what had happened to both of us. And so anyway, when she passed away, I did a little prayer for her. I said, hey, show me that you're going to reach back and talk to me. And pennies and dimes are the normal angel thing to find. I started finding nickels everywhere. And I realized, because her and I don't quite go to the same brain that everybody else does, she was leaving me nickels. And now whenever I find a nickel, I think of her still to this day, and she's been gone, gosh, I don't even know how long.
She's probably still leaving him.
Yep. And so, just pay attention to some of this, because the veil is very thin, and especially right now, we're at the spring equinox today.
Today, yeah.
And, the full moon, and so the veil is really thin, that you can reach back, and your intuition is very, very high right now. Trust it. Don't let anybody take away your joy of trusting your own intuition and your own ideas. Okay?
So tomorrow, get on Pearls of the Soul, and